Hello and welcome to KidZone. I wonder if you have a favourite superhero, someone who can use special powers to perform spectacular rescues in impossible situations.
Well, the Bible has many true stories of real people who were heroes in God's spectacular rescue plans. They were also given special powers by God when they needed them.
We have recently heard the story of Joseph, whom God used to rescue his family from famine, giving them a place to live in Egypt.
Well, this week we're fast forwarding 400 years to the next great Bible hero, Moses.
By this time, Joseph's family, the Israelites or Hebrews, had become a huge group of people, hundreds of thousands. But their situation had changed. Now they were hated by the Egyptians and were forced to work as slaves for Pharaoh, building new cities. They were desperate and prayed to God to help them.
God had a rescue plan for his people, the Hebrews. He planned to use Moses to bring them all out of Egypt to the land he had promised to give them long ago.
But at the beginning of our story, it is Moses himself who needs rescuing. You'll find this story in your Bible in Exodus chapter 2, verses 1 to 10. Life was really hard for the Hebrews in Egypt. They slaved away under the hot sun and the watchful eyes of their cruel slave drivers. Pharaoh was worried that before long there would be more Hebrews than Egyptians in his country, and that if there was a war, they might join his enemies and fight against him. We need to stop them increasing in numbers, he said. So he gave the order that all newborn Hebrew boys should be thrown into the river Nile. Baby Moses was born about this time. He had an older sister named Miriam and an older brother named Aaron. His mother managed to keep him hidden for 3 months, but he was getting too big and making too much noise for them to hide him at home any longer. So she made a plan. They did what they could to make him safe.
His mother got a basket made of papyrus reeds and waterproofed it with tar and pitch. I expect they tested it to make sure it didn't let water in and lined it with soft material to make it comfortable for baby Moses. Then one morning they laid the sleeping baby in the basket, kissed him goodbye, and shut the lid. They walked down to the river's edge and hid the basket amongst the reeds. Miriam then stood at a distance, watching to see what would happen to her baby brother.
Soon Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe in the river. She noticed the basket in the reeds and sent one of her servant girls to get it for her. When the princess opened the basket, she saw the baby. The little boy was crying, and she felt sorry for him.
He must be one of the Hebrew children,
She said. Then Miriam had an idea. She came out of her hiding place and approached the princess.
Would you like me to go and find a Hebrew woman to feed the baby for you?
She asked.
Yes, please do,
Said the princess. And you can guess who she went to fetch. The baby's own mother. The princess asked her to take the baby home and feed him. She said she would pay her for looking after him until he was old enough not to need milk feeds anymore. So Miriam and her mother took baby Moses back home again. Later, when Moses was old enough, his mother brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son. So Moses grew up in an Egyptian family.
We don't know how he felt about being separated from his own family, but it must have been hard for them all. But the experience of growing up as an Egyptian prince was part of the preparation for his part in God's great rescue plan for all his people. Wow, that is a great story. It's amazing the way everything worked out so that the baby Moses was rescued. It makes me realise that even when bad things happen, they cannot stop God working out his good plans for us and for other people.
The story also shows how we can all have a part to play in God's plans. Each person in today's story did what they could. Moses' parents, his sister Miriam, and the princess all did what they could to keep baby Moses safe. God used them all in his rescue plan for Moses. And as we'll see in the next few weeks, Moses was part of God's bigger rescue plan for all the Israelites in Egypt.
So don't miss next week's episode. And we have a challenge and a craft for you this week.
The challenge is to be part of God's good plan for someone else this week. Ask God to help you notice when someone needs help. Think of something you could do or say to help or encourage them.
And the craft is whether you can make an origami boat that will float. You might like to decorate it to make it look like a basket boat, like the one that Moses' mother made for him. And if you like, you can make a baby to go in your boat, but you have to make it out of something really light. This is a table tennis ball. And then the challenge is to see whether the boat with the baby in it will float. Have fun. And if you would like a piece of A4 origami paper which is coloured on one side, then get your parent or adult to contact me on the church WhatsApp and I'll get some to you. Otherwise, you can use any sheet of A4 paper. Bye, have fun. And here he is, baby Moses, floating in his basket. There we go.